Very much. Now only on to a CBS2 News investigation into the alleged rape of a teenage girl.
And that's just the beginning of this story. CBS2's Randy Paige joins us with his exclusive investigation. Randy?
Pat, Paul, this is a story that begins with one of the darkest days in a teenage girl's life, and it is told in her own words.
I felt like I couldn't defend myself.
This high school teenager is describing what it felt like when she says she was raped.
He shoved me into the bathroom stall, and I was pushed against the wall.
In the middle of the day.
And I just felt like I had no way to defend myself. Like I felt so weak because he was so strong.
By two football players.
There's two of them and just one of me.
Who were taking turns.
And it's like, if I was to knock one of them down, the other one could still get me.
She asked us not to show her face, but she wanted to tell her story.
I just felt so like violated, and I just felt weak.
Then she decided to step out of the shadows.
It takes a lot of courage to do what you're doing.
Yeah.
Lexi Oppelt is a senior at Roosevelt High School in Riverside County who decided to reveal her identity.
To tell other girls who may have gone through the same thing what?
To not be scared.
Lexi was a 14-year-old freshman in September of 2013 when she says she was raped inside this school bathroom. According to a lawsuit filed by her parents against the school district, Lexi was suddenly forced into the handicap stall. There, both assailants took turns.
I couldn't really defend myself when the attack was happening. And it's like I kind of wish that I could go back and defend myself.
Lexi says the boy who led the rape is Kenechukwu Ugwizi, known as KC, a football player at her school at the time. And she says when she told sheriff's investigators and school personnel what happened to her and identified Ugwizi as the boy who raped her, this was their reaction.
Every time I did tell them, they just told me that I wanted it, so it's like they didn't even care.
We reached out to the Corona-Norco Unified School District and received a written statement which says, in part, law enforcement concluded that no criminal activity ever occurred. Based on the investigation, the allegations are both false and unfounded. But Sergeant Chris Durham at the Riverside County Sheriff's Department told us after detectives completed their investigation, they turned the case over to the district attorney's office for prosecution. The Riverside County DA's office says it can't comment on what happened next because KC was a juvenile at the time. But the story doesn't end here.
Two teenagers face multiple felony charges after a sexual assault was reported at Eleanor Roosevelt High School.
9 days after Lexi says she was raped, Riverside County authorities said a different freshman girl was raped in a bathroom of the same school. Two boys were arrested and charged with rape. One was a football player. The boys were not publicly identified, and the outcome of their cases was not released because they were juveniles. But Lexi says KC is one of the boys who was arrested, the same boy who led the rape against her 9 days before. Now, in 2016, Casey Ugwizi is charged as an adult with 4 rapes involving other alleged victims, 2 involving 18-year-old women in Santa Barbara, and 2 new statutory rape cases involving underage girls in Riverside County. Prosecutors allege Ugwizi committed the most recent rape in Riverside while he was out on bail awaiting trial in Santa Barbara. As for Lexi's case, in legal documents the district filed in response to Lexi's lawsuit, the district said the 14-year-old freshman girl failed to exercise ordinary care for her own safety, and that she freely and voluntarily exposed herself to all risks of harm.
I mean, that's absurd. You don't willingly go out and say, oh, I'm hoping I get raped today.
USC Professor of Clinical Pediatrics Dr. Astrid Hager is one of the nation's leading experts on the sexual abuse of children. She says she believes Lexi's story because it is consistent with the reaction of many rape victims she's treated over her long career.
They should have believed her, and they should have done everything they possibly could to make her heal. I mean, the crime in and of itself is deadly and impacts you forever. But it's the moral indifference of the people that surround you that really makes it worse. It's as bad as the event itself.
I started judging myself, like, am I really what they say I am? And I started to forget who I was.
Lexi says her art helps her work through the pain.
I guess like the blue represents like our eyes are hidden.
as she struggles through nightmares and sleepless nights
I felt like somebody was watching me, like I would see shadows.
and tries to put the past behind her.
What's your biggest dream?
I don't know, to be happy again.
Lexi says she wanted her face to be shown to show other girls who've been sexually abused that there's no need to be scared and to tell someone their story so the offenders can be stopped and the victims can begin to heal. And Pat Pollock can tell you she's beginning to heal. She now has a tattoo on her wrist. There's one word on it. It says survivor.
Oh, powerful.
Yeah. How about that when your biggest dream is just happiness? Oh, thank you, Randy. It's good.